Greetings, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thank you for logging on. Today, I will walk you through the usage and care of your Grand Seiko SBGN001. This Quartz GMT is likely to be the most accurate timepiece, or at least the most accurate self-contained timepiece that you will encounter in your life unless you work at some sort of a government lab. Accurate within plus or minus 5 seconds per year, the watch nevertheless requires some help to set itself. So this is a watch with a 3-year power reserve via a battery that is set using conventional crown procedure. But you do need to keep in mind what you're looking at, since this is also the very first 9F Quartz GMT. And the watch is set as follows. Pull the crown out all the way. My preference is to wait for the seconds hand to reach 12, because that means it's zeroed and it represents the start of the next minute, allows me to synchronize more easily against a reference time. So now, when that hand is at 12 o'clock, I will have already threaded out the crown till it pops tangibly out of its threaded stem tube. I will pull it out 2 detents. That is stop seconds. This is the setting mode during which everything is coordinated. I have 2 hands. I have a 12-hour hand, that's my local time, and I have a 24-hour hand. That is my reference time, the time where I'm not. And you can see outboard, the bezel features a 24-hour scale for that hand, which makes 1 circuit per day. Keep in mind that the date is driven by the local hour hand, so you cannot change the date by turning the 24-hour. You must advance the local hour to drive the date forward or backwards. What I like to do is set the reference time first. So let's say my reference time, wherever it might be, is 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. and it's 5:31. The minute hand is synced between the two, so you can't set the minutes independently. But what you can do right here is just set the minutes at the same time you're setting the reference hour, the 24-hour hand. So let's say my reference time, it's 5:30. I'm going to set the minutes to the next nearest minute, and there's a reason for that. I want to make sure that I'm setting against a reference time and I'm letting that reference time catch up. So I'll look up an online atomic clock accurate to that reference time zone. I'm going to set the watch 1 minute ahead of the actual time and wait for the reference to catch up. When the reference matches the 24-hour minute and second that I've set on the watch's dial, I'm going to push that crown back in, resume the beat of the Quartz stepper motors, and now I've synchronized my minute and my reference time zone. I still need to set local time. Okay, first, let's see where we are in the 24-hour cycle. Okay, so I swept through 12, so that means I'm sweeping through midday. So I am going to set a time of 1 o'clock and 31 minutes. So I can set that time, and I can do so independently of seconds, minutes, and the 24-hour time zone. Remember, always set this one second after first setting the 24. Now here's the thing. I mentioned that only that hand drives the date. This is true, and if you're crossing the international date line, east or west, you can change the date in either direction with no hazard to the caliber. It's designed to do this. So you have the ability to travel and vary your local time zone even as your home time, and that's generally how people use the 24-hour hand. Your home time does not change. Now, a few thoughts. This watch, 100 meters water resistant, needs some help from you to avoid accidental drowning. Every time you're done setting the time, thread the crown back in all the way to the stop into its threaded stem tube. This will help protect it from abrasion and shearing, but also ensure that this 100-meter water-resistant watch lives up to its billing as a 100-meter or 10-bar timepiece. That's sufficient for swimming, just about all aquatic activities except those involving high dives and rebreathers. But as one of the 3 principal hazards to your watch, water, along with magnetism and shock, needs to be kept in mind whenever the watch is in proximity to the hazard. You can help avoid accidental drowning by never pulling the crown out, using the crown in any way, not just while the watch is submerged, but also while the watch is wet. Regard a wet watch as a submerged watch and never withdraw the crown. Also remember, anytime you take the watch out of salt or chlorinated water, clean it with a moist, freshwater damp rag. Further, water resistance of your watch, though substantial as it leaves the factory, is not a static feature. Over time, lubricants will age, seals will degrade, your watch will be relatively less water resistant with time. Therefore, Grand Seiko recommends, on at least an annual basis, having your watch water tested to ensure it still meets its factory rated hermeticity. This can be done free of charge at a Grand Seiko authorized service or sales center. Magnetism is ubiquitous, And the effect of magnets on a quartz caliber will be to depolarize the magnets in the stepper motor. Now the watch removed from the source of magnetism will gradually repolarize and resume, but with catastrophic effects on cumulative accuracy. Therefore, keep your watch remote from high-powered static magnets such as the closures of refrigerator doors, wallets, purses, also speakers and subwoofers. Even the magnets inside the speakers contained within your laptop keyboard. Many folks forget these. Keep the watch remote from powerful wiring harnesses, wiring looms, or powerful personal electronic devices. Though magnetism will slowly revert itself and the watch will self-correct, shock and concussion can cause more lasting damage to your timepiece. Anything from compromising the precision of the watch, if sufficiently violent, to cracking or discharging sapphires, or even stopping the movement. Therefore, Grand Seiko recommends that you discontinue use of the watch during concussive activities such as batting, tennis, golf, firearms marksmanship, or the riding of ATVs or mountain bikes. Finally, the watch does feature a quartz movement with battery that requires replacement roughly every 3 years, and this is also the overhaul interval that Grand Seiko recommends for fine timepieces, quartz and mechanical. Roughly every 3 years, your watch should enjoy a full service that will result in cosmetic refinishing of your watch, restoration of water resistance, as well as servicing of the movement and replacement of the battery. This should be performed solely at authorized Grand Seiko service centers where trained personnel, specialized tools, and original Grand Seiko factory replacement parts are available to maintain the value of your watch as both instrument and as investment. Moreover, only these agencies are able to back all labor and parts invested with a Grand Seiko factory service warranty. Finally, visit our website at golfbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts. We'll be happy to walk through every phase of the care and use of this or any Grand Seiko timepiece.